Let's get some analysis now on what this latest escalation from Putin means for the rest of the world. I'm joined by Professor John Blaxland from the International Security and Intelligence Department at ANU. Professor Blaxland, thanks for your time as always. This escalation by Putin, in the short term, it's certainly galvanised the rest of the world in slamming him.
Yeah, no question. And in the medium to longer term, we're going to see an attempt by Russia to muster up 300,000 soldiers. But the problem is for the Russians, you know, this is not the Russia of the Cold War, Soviet era. They don't have the infrastructure, they don't have the facilities, they don't have the people to train, to command, to lead, to organise these 300,000 soldiers. So what are you going to do? It's going to take some time for that to happen, for them to be mustered. And then what are you going to do? Do more of the same, run the same kind of tactics, which looks like there's no learning going on, it appears, on the Russian side. And new soldiers, what are they going to know? They're just going to know what they've been told. And of course, they haven't been told very much about how good the Ukrainians are.
And what's your read on the language from Putin about the nuclear threat as well?
Yeah, look, this is him bluffing that he's not bluffing. You know, it's a little bit funny, really, because this is the language he's been using for 7 months. You know, you cross this threshold, you know, if you attack a Russian territory, we can go nuclear. Well, nobody's attacking Russian territory, right? It's a nonsense. It's the same kind of bluster that we've seen for a while. But what is interesting is this talk about the referendums, because I think this is what he's trying to get at with this now, is that if he can justify in his own eyes, at least to the Russian people, that it's okay to incorporate more of these territories, Donetsk, Luhansk, in addition to the Crimea, into Russia, that's Russian sovereign territory, that then is behind the barrier of what could, you know, in his mind at least, be justifiably the defence zone for the use of nuclear weapons. That's a scary thought.
And is it potentially as well, if they were to have the referenda and take that territory, that then provides us an opportunity for him to save face? Because he's been humiliated thus far. Yeah,
but I mean, the thing is, what he's not accounting for is the fact that inside those territories, Ukrainian special forces and locals who are collaborating are making life hell for the Russians. This is not easy to govern. This is territory that is becoming very difficult for them to even operate in. You know, we're seeing the use of drones, we're seeing the use of long-range precision munitions, that is targeting headquarters, that's targeting ammunition depots and railway stations and junctions on which the Russian military has always relied, right? And they don't have a game plan B to operate here. So what are you going to do? Recruit 300,000 troops and throw them into the same problem that you've already lost, you know, how many tens of thousands of troops doing? Now, there's no question. They've got, you know, there's that wonderful old saying, quantity has a quality all of its own. So this is a major challenge for Ukraine. And it does mean that it's probably going to continue well through the winter and probably considerably beyond.
But they have the momentum now, don't they?
No,
the Ukrainian forces?
Oh, yeah, the Ukrainians do. Yeah, but the problem is that while they've had the momentum, they've expended a fair amount of those resources that they had been, you know, really kind of keep tucking away for this special manoeuvre phase that we saw over the last couple of weeks. But then they don't have that capacity, they don't have multiples of that up their sleeves. So it's not likely that we're going to see that repeat, but we can see them exploit opportunities as and when they occur. So there's been two kind of battles been happening. One is in the northern field and one is in the south. The northern one's been about manoeuvre with armoured vehicles and fast movement, ducking and weaving and calling in fire. In the south, we've seen a much more incremental infiltration, small firefights, blocking off Russian resupply, damaging bridges and things that has made it difficult for the Russians to stay, but not really anytime soon dramatically altering the picture. The winter, though, will see that probably significantly alter.